If you're thinking about becoming a content creator, well, don't worry. It's a breeze. Dive in, take the leap, and watch the magic happen. All you have to do is just be yourself. Wrong. If you want to succeed in this line of work, you need something that you can't learn at school.
Zing, zork, kapauza. Call it what you want. In any language, it spells mazuma in the bank.
Veer too far right on the bell curve, and you get called cringe. And then you go too far the other side. People think you're boring. So you'd think aiming somewhere around the middle here might be the move. Not a bad idea. But wrong again. Because that comes with the risk of blending in with everyone, that you fade into obscurity. But imagine you could skip all of this, finding your voice crap. What if you could just grab one right off the shelf? One that's been data tested, retention optimized, and shaped by the algorithmic gods. So what the hell is Algospeak? Algospeak actually started as a sneaky way to dodge social media censorship, using code words like unalive for kill, or R for ass. But today, it's more of a catch-all for all the colorful ways that social media is changing the way we talk. What's really interesting, though, is how influencers are changing the way they speak to game the algorithm. To really understand all of this, we need a quick crash course on what prosody is. It's just a fancy word for the rhythm and pitch in our voices. If you want to be engaging, this is where the magic happens. Because if we were to speak sentences like this without any pitch or rhythmic structure, who the hell wants to listen to that? Linguists say the trick is to mix it up. Lift your tone to reel people in and drop it when you want to make your point. For good rhythmic prosody, bundle up your words into chunks and vary up the speeds to keep things interesting. Doesn't matter what nonsense you might be spouting. If your prosody is tight, it can still make you sound convincing. That's how politicians get elected. So one of the tricks creators are using is this thing called
Upspeak. I ended every sentence on a high pitch. I've been studying communication for the last 10 years, and I'm certain that I'm going to be able to help you solve all of your communication problems.
It makes it sound like everything's a question. Most of us do it without thinking, once or twice, just regular prosody. But when it's continuous and deliberate, that's strategy. So why does it work? That rising pitch is actually creating micro cliffhangers. Your brain thinks it's hearing a question, so it's waiting for the answer, even if there is none. Before you know it, you're 5 videos deep into watching someone blow 100 grand on a fucking couch. Another algorithmic trick is word lengthening, dragging out the last syllable to make it sound more important. Channels like SunnyV2 built a retention empire using these techniques. This.
Game developer Rovio made an app named Angry Birds, which, while clearly being a rip-off, was better in every way.
So another convenient side effect of word lengthening stretches out your watch time. What, you don't believe me? Okay, come. Every time SunnyV2 stretches out a word like that,
Birds.
That's 0.3 seconds added. The median frequency is roughly 3 elongated words per sentence. Now, an average video of his runs between 10 to 15 minutes. Let's call that about 150 sentences. 150 sentences multiplied by 0.9 seconds gives us 2 minutes and 15 seconds of extra runtime per video. Watch just 3 SunnyV2 videos a week, and by the end of the year, you've lost 5 hours and 51 minutes of your life listening to someone elongate their vowels. Is this how you want to spend your life? You have the determination, the drive, and raw tenacity to outswim 300 million other sperm from your dad's nutsack. All that evolutionary effort for this.
Rip-off.
You probably noticed that YouTube videos are getting longer and longer by the year. A 1-hour analysis on every workplace safety hazard violation in 5 Nights at Freddy's, or a 5-hour retrospective on whatever the hell iCarly is. It's actually much more likely to get recommended than, say, a short, succinct 5-minute video on the same topic. More watch time basically means more money for YouTube and the creator. Classic. Question: do you like history? No, wait, don't click away. This is interesting, I promise. It was the 2010s. A time of change. Women stepped up into powerful roles at work, flipping the script on the stay-at-home mom stereotype. Beyoncé and Lady Gaga were charting songs fueled by female empowerment. And the world rejoiced as gender norms evaporated. Hashtag boss babe energy was peaking, and nothing could stop it. Except for Upspeak. So because we live in a society, people were giving women shit about the way they spoke in the workplace. A lack of sounding professional. They all said, ditzy. They called it. Like what next, right? Criticizing people who blink too much. Jailing grandmas with overly animated eyebrows. The electric chair for infants who tie their shoes using the bunny ear method instead of the standard adult shoelace knot. Paranoia about it hurting your job spread like wildfire. And lots of women took up communication coaching, hoping to expel the demon intonation festering in their throats.
God, fuck him, Garrus, from this creature of God.
Turns out the trick all along was to just lower your pitch.
If I end my sentences on a lower pitch, watch what happens. I've been teaching communication now for the last 10 years, and I'm certain I'm going to be able to help you solve all of your communication issues. What a crazy difference!
I could have told you that. Well, guess what? It actually worked. Upspeak was on its way to being cured for good. Modern science prevails.
What a crazy difference!
But now that created a new problem. Hitting those lower notes to combat Upspeak now made their voices croak. Because biology. And that's how vocal fry entered the mainstream and became yet another item on the ever-expanding checklist of things women are doing wrong. But here's the final twist. Turns out, women were just ahead of the linguistics curve all along. Today, it doesn't even matter if you're a woman, man, cat, or dog. Everyone's doing it. And it can even give you a leg up in society. A study in Hong Kong found that the most powerful people in the room used rising intonation 3 to 7 times more often than their subordinates, suggesting that Uptalk is useful in asserting leadership qualities. Upspeak has officially pulled off the greatest linguistic comeback of all time. Right, so we know tone's important, but using trending words matters just as much when you want to game the algorithm. Social media platforms like TikTok give everyone a scorecard for their cultural relevance. It scans for keywords, hashtags, whatever's trending at the moment. And if you pass the vibe check, congrats. But the algorithm's not out here inventing the actual slang. That's on us, right? We make the catchphrases, and they become little handshakes that signal we're part of the group. Every subculture has their own version of this. It's nothing new. But watching corporate brands try to jump on the bandwagon never fails to make me laugh, though. We're smarter than that. We know the only reason they're doing it is to get hold of the 16 digits on the back of our card.
You got me.
Or our personal data. Exhibit A. Best Buy job ad from Pennsylvania. Hey fam, you finna be dripping this holiday season? Well, no cap, we're hiring. That empty bank account got you down. Your parents won't give any coins to get that bougie pair of Crocs you've been wanting. We'll turn that L into a W by joining our team. All positions start at $15 an hour. Sheesh. Now that's some guap. And then you have this classic from last year. I actually love this one.
We've got Mad Riz being a national hizzy site. It's giving. History. Coming here with they gives you mad aura. Facts.
Goes to show that if you commit to the bit by getting actual Gen Zs to write it, it can work. The cringe is still there, sure, but the self-awareness undercuts it. It's brilliant. And I've saved the best one for last. In a year like 2021, even your music gets a vibe check. You always understood the assignment. While everyone was trying to figure out what NFTs were, you had one song on repeat. Spotify PR 101. Step 1. Hollow out the music industry until it's a shell of its former self. Step 2. Funnel the profits into AI-powered combat drones. Step 3. Co-opt an entire generation's slang in a last-ditch effort to stay relatable. When will it end, Daniel Ek? That even is your real name. So creators know that if they use the lingo as well, the algorithm's going to reward them. It's called aura farming. It snowballs these catchphrases and they get pushed out to more and more people. Before you know it, brain rots become the Oxford Dictionary's word of the year. So let's move on. I got a question for you. When we let the algorithm dictate how we speak, are we losing a little bit of our individuality? As much as it might sound like we're min-maxing our way towards a future resembling a dystopian sci-fi novel, kind of how society's always worked. Technology's just accelerating it. Like the Shakespearean accent. That was all over the shop once upon a time.
Good friend for Jesus' sake forbear, to dig the dust and close it at.
Gone. The 1930s was dominated by the transatlantic accent.
The male than the more obvious charms.
Really?
Really. We're very vain, you know.
Gone as well. So the good news is, if you hate this new wave of influencers speak, it'll likely fade into obscurity as well. Failing that, we're gonna eventually all die anyway. Sorry, I mean unalive.
The Encyclopedia of the Sciences of Learning, it says in part, studies have demonstrated that mimicry is a communication tool used to create and regulate social interactions and show others that you understand them. It can truly be called social glue, which helps to create strong ties and relationships between individuals.
Right? Copying each other isn't inherently bad. If you want to top the influencer food chain though, looks like you gotta be the one creating the words. Try it. Who knows, maybe you'll catch on and become the next Phantom Tax. And circling back to censorship, I totally get that brands don't want their ads being placed in content talking about sensitive issues. But if we're just gonna invent code words that imply the exact same meaning, it feels a little pointless. It's just a cat and mouse game with no end in sight. Speak however you want. Upspeak, downspeak, 360, kickflip speak. Who the hell cares? What worries me is AI. Like, why even bother finding your own voice anymore when you can just prompt ChatGPT to copy someone else's?
Get a haircut!
Yeah, get him out. That guy just goes on and on. So what have we learned today? I could come up with a speech about embracing our individuality, celebrating our inner cringe, and giving the finger to the algorithms hijacking our attention. That true authenticity begins when we see the internet for what it is. A performance, playing out on a stage, built on attention. I don't know, it's your life. Who am I to tell you what to do? I'm just an observer. But if, like me, you enjoy observing this cultural circus we call life, maybe check out this video next. Why not subscribe as well? You don't have to. It's not like I'd be sad if you didn't.